Most of us want the brand split to be a thing. We want Raw stars on Raw, and we want SmackDown stars on SmackDown. And we want the draft to be this really cool special event that we get to watch every year. It was special. The draft used to be super special, and you never knew what was going to happen. John Cena got drafted to Raw one year. That was crazy. I remember one time Triple H got drafted to SmackDown, and it was like, what? These are huge stars, right? Anything could happen. It was a way to end feuds, start new possibilities, reinvent characters. Devon Dudley became Deacon Dudley. Hey, we got Batista out of that. The draft used to be cool. So was the brand split. And it's broken. 2024 SmackDown, the first day of the draft, clearly showed that things are broken and they need to be fixed. And here are 7 fixes for the draft/brand split that are super easy, super simple. Implement it, and we don't gotta overthink it. We don't have to reinvent the wheel here. We just gotta stick to the rules. Rule number 1, you have the draft the first night after Backlash. So Backlash historically has been the fallout pay-per-view of WrestleMania. It's not so much this year though, because if you look at it this year, like what's the fallout? It's Cody versus AJ. They had nothing going on. You had Damian Priest versus Jey Uso. They had nothing going on. So it's like, where's this fallout? Sami Zayn even. He just toppled Gunther. Gunther doesn't even have a match. Even if Gunther's like, you know what? I'm no longer after the Intercontinental title. Why not have one of his henchmen go after the Intercontinental title? At least there'd be some fallout of WrestleMania there. But no, he's fighting Bronson Reed. Only connection there I can see is that Bronson Reed beat Sami Zayn on the road to WrestleMania to prove that he wasn't ready mentally for Gunther. But for the most part, yeah, it's Backlash no longer really holds me. I mean, if you look at WrestleMania 14, Backlash had a rematch between The Rock and Stone Cold. A straight up rematch. And that's also where The Rock turned on the corporation. That right there, or was it 15? WrestleMania 15, 14? I think 15. No, 14. No, 15. Regardless, there was a backlash from WrestleMania. But now we just have random matches. So Backlash is all in name, just name of the fallout of WrestleMania. But who cares? The first pay-per-view after WrestleMania, we have the draft. Because if you do it before the draft, then you're kind of like, well, this person's not going, this person's not leaving, this person's not being drafted. Because, okay, let's just keep the no title holders can be drafted rule. But then what about their challenger? Well, that means AJ can't be drafted, or if AJ is drafted, that means AJ can't win. So just hold it. The first opportunity you can after the PLE, that's when you hold your draft. That way anybody's eligible. Number 2, draft picks are completely random. They've done this in the past where it's just a lottery. By people picking, by executives picking, or the SmackDown team, or the Raw GM, by them picking, it shows that, well, basically, there's no easy way to put it. It reveals that everything's kind of like predetermined and fake. Because why would anyone pick Jey Uso over Seth freaking Rollins? Seth Rollins just main evented WrestleMania Night 1. Even The Rock said he was the MVP. So why are you picking Jey Uso? Bianca Belair, Carmelo Hayes. Those 3 people got picked over Seth freaking Rollins, who is a proven commodity. And maybe you could say, well, he was injured, so maybe they wanted him real quick. Nah, I don't buy that. Don't buy that at all. At least there's a reason, and they didn't give it. I had to figure out that reason on my own. I had to think to myself, why would they pick someone over Seth Rollins? I do not buy Jey Uso, Bianca Belair, and especially Carmelo Hayes. Even if Carmelo Hayes is the future of WWE, you don't pick him over Seth Rollins. Come on. Like, it made no sense. So if you do a lottery, it's completely random. So when Ricochet gets picked over AJ Styles, it makes sense because it's all random. Just randomize it. It's not actual picks. It's just random. Number 3 is an NXT special. So I did a video on this already. I did not like that they called up NXT stars as draft picks. Now, granted, in reality, the NFL draft is actually all about picking up rookies. So it's more realistic in real sports that you're only picking from rookies, but this is WWE. We have the luxury of doing things that are just more like, entertaining. Let's just put it that way. So I feel that NXT people should not be picked in the draft. And some people confuse that as me saying, oh, I don't want to call these people up and not give them a chance. It's not that I don't want to call them up or give them a chance. I definitely do. 100% do. I just don't want them in the draft per se, unless you do it like this. So night 1, Raw after the PLE. Night 2 is SmackDown after the PLE. But in between, or even after, maybe do a special Saturday episode of NXT where only NXT people are called up. And again, just randomize it, make it a lottery, or don't. But if you did the lottery, you could justify some people that aren't high on the card getting called up, while you have other people high on the card staying in NXT, because you don't want to completely deplete all the top talent in NXT for multiple reasons. A, ratings, and B, you need some more established rookies to help the unestablished rookies climb up the ladder. And then maybe in another month or two, then you can just have, someone like Ilya Dragunov. He's just a free agent after SummerSlam, and they vie for him. So just have a special episode for NXT. Leave them out of the draft versions of Raw and SmackDown. Number 4 is that we do, just pick a number. I'm just going to say 10 people. 10 people are getting drafted between brands, right? But here's the catch. You can't stay on your brand. If your name is called, you automatically are going. So it's not like, oh, SmackDown gets AJ Styles, who's already been on SmackDown for 3 years. No, if AJ's called, no matter how long he's been on SmackDown, he's going to Raw. Because the 2024 draft, almost everybody stayed. SmackDown is picking somebody who's already been on SmackDown forever. No, we want change. That's what the draft is all about. So 10 people, no matter what. 5 people are getting over here. 5 people are getting over here. You have that NXT episode, and you're calling up maybe 3 people also. So each brand is getting an infusion of 8 different characters. And again, they have to be, if your name is called, you're going to the other one. Number 5 is if you're on Raw, you can't go to SmackDown ever. There has to be some huge reason why that is even happening. Raw people are on Raw, SmackDown talent on SmackDown. That's it. Except for maybe Royal Rumble, maybe Money in the Bank, or you have that one match at WrestleMania. Remember when Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels had their famous WrestleMania match? They were on 2 different brands, and that was okay and that was cool, but doing it all the time takes away the specialness of it. One-on-one, it has to be WrestleMania only. We don't see it any other time unless it's kind of like allows for the brands to mix. Because Royal Rumble's going to allow for the brands to mix. 15 stars here, 15 stars there. The less they can interact, the better. Going to number 6 is that we make the shows feel different. Back in the day, you had Evolution over here and the SmackDown 5 over here. And they felt different. It wasn't just, oh, I have a Raw shirt on and you have a SmackDown shirt on, so I guess we're enemies now. No, the shows really felt different. Batista was so much, go back to look at Batista. He really believed the blue brand was better and he was the champion of the blue brand. It really did feel different. SmackDown was more about the wrestling and Raw was more about the storytelling. And there was definitely both on both brands, but it was different. Make the brands really different, and then it's really cool when you have somebody that is a SmackDown, like an AJ Styles, who's like very much a technical wrestler, and then he's drafted to Raw, then it's like, whoa, how's AJ Styles gonna handle being on Raw when they're all about chair shots and all these craziness happening? You get what I'm saying? Make them different, and then those draft picks are even more shocking. At number 7, this one, I highly doubt will happen, but maybe, because wrestling is so hot right now, number 7, have separate PLEs. Back in the day, there were Raw pay-per-views and there were SmackDown pay-per-views every other month. Basically, Raw, then SmackDown, then Raw, then SmackDown, with the exception of the big 4, which were Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Survivor Series. Anybody could be on those. Other than that, there were 8 alternating pay-per-views, because 1 per month. Now, they do consider Money in the Bank a big 5 now, so, you know, whatever, who cares? You can still do it. And in fact, because everything's now a premium live event and not a pay-per-view, this is all on streaming, you have even more opportunity. You don't have to worry about if people are going to buy it, because people are already buying it, especially when it's on Netflix. So it's just more content. It's easy now to just, you can run 2 pay-per-views, 2 premium live events a month. You can have a SmackDown premium live event at the beginning of the month and a Raw premium live event at the end of the month. And both shows can build towards their premium live event. And then when it does come SummerSlam, they just build towards SummerSlam. And that would so much give us the distinction. It would allow for more revenue because you're selling more tickets. WWE is hotter than ever, so right now is the time to strike on selling more major events because they're selling out left and right. And those are your 7 ways. Your 7 ways to make the draft / bring and split important, awesome, and great again. And I hope the WWE acknowledge the brand split and make it a real thing, just like I hope you acknowledge the subscribe button and make this your wrestling channel. Please comment anything. I try to answer all to the majority of my comments, and yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you for growing this channel. Since I restarted, I've gotten 100 extra subscribers. You guys are amazing. You really are. I'm not joking. You're amazing. See you guys.